Convicted of killing Toledo police detective Keith Dressel finds out if he'll stay in prison or get out on parole. We sat down with Dressel's mother to hear what she had to say. Plus, a case of road rage, and a victim speaks with WTOL 11 about what happened and why he claims it may have been a hate crime.
And after a sunny start to the work week, I am tracking the chance for some light snow showers overnight, the hour-by-hour forecast, and also when the wind calms down, coming up in just a bit. Kaylee.
Welcome into WTOL 11 News on Plus. I'm Kaylee Maritet. Thanks for joining us on this Monday night. Let's take a look at your top stories. A man who killed a Toledo police detective 18 years ago named Keith Dressel will stay in prison. The parole board said it considered several factors and ultimately voted 7-2 to deny parole for Robert Jobe. That's 3 votes short of the majority Jobe needed to get out. Board members say he hasn't demonstrated any positive change. They were also concerned about him not seeming to have a plan for parole and what he would do if released. Now Detective Dressel's mother says a weight has been lifted following the denial.
Yeah, just relief. I could probably sleep better at night because he didn't try to do anything to better himself. He just, I thought he would at least try. No, just naughty stuff, bad stuff.
Jobe will be 40 years old when he's eligible next in 2032. You can watch 11 Investigates' exclusive interview with Jobe in prison here on WTOL 11 Plus. Well, the man facing charges in a deadly double shooting from 2021 changed his plea in court today. Tyler Williams pleaded guilty today to involuntary manslaughter in discharge of a firearm near a prohibited premise. His aggravated murder and felonious assault charges were dismissed. He's charged in the shooting death of 11-year-old Nathan Sumner. Williams was sentenced to 20 years behind bars. He was already sentenced to 10 years in prison for felonious assault for injuring Nathan's 14-year-old brother. That brings his total sentence to 30 years. A second suspect in the shooting was sentenced in August. Well, new tonight, we're hearing from the victim of an alleged road rage incident that he claims was a hate crime. Michael Sandlin brings us the story.
The scars are both physical and emotional for Kedar Abdullah Turnbull. Dark purple and yellow bruises cover his legs, but he says the real damage is the trust he's lost for the public.
I mean, not only physically am I going to be in more pain for, forever, now this is adding on to my PTSD.
His alleged attacker, Casey Beaudoin, currently sits in Lucas County Jail, charged with felonious assault. Turnbull says the two first encountered each other after an innocent mistake when Turnbull started driving the wrong way down a one-way road off of Eastgate.
This guy, instead of honking at me or, trying to inform me that it was a one-way, he swerved to get as close as he possibly could to my car.
Turnbull quickly figured out his mistake and turns around, but Turnbull says Beaudoin hadn't had enough of him.
He swerved to the right, brake checked me, then threw his hands up, swerved to the left again, brake checked me again, and I could hear him pointing and yelling at me or whatever. And so he pulled into this parking lot, so I pulled in, just trying to figure out what's going on.
The two step out of their cars, and Turnbull says Beaudoin was immediately hostile, cursing, swearing, and making comments about him.
They called me a towelhead.
At this point, Turnbull is on edge, and he says Beaudoin starts to reach for something inside his car.
My PTSD kicked in, and I thought he was going to grab a gun. So all I did was reach in to stop his arm. This dude grabs onto my arm, he presses on the gas, starts dragging me, says, "How do you like that? Blah, blah, blah." Drops me, so I drop onto the pavement. 5 seconds later, I notice that his van has the reverse lights on. I hear the engine rev, so he slammed on the gas pedal.
Turnbull says he barely had time to move before Beaudoin's Ram truck hit his left side, sending him flying. He's convinced a direct hit would have killed him.
I lost consciousness for a few seconds, tried my best to get back up, and all I remember is hearing him say, "How do you like that?" and the tires squealed out.
Turnbull was taken to the hospital where he was treated for his injuries, but he says what really hurts is the belief he was attacked for the way he worships.
They have this hatred towards us as Muslims, and they don't even know why.
The second crash in 2 weeks outside of Mancy's Steakhouse in Toledo is causing concern for other business owners in the same intersection. Pamela Lloyd Camp, owner of Boyd's Retro Candy Store, says reckless drivers have become a big problem where Lewis, West Sylvania, Phillips, and Martha Avenues meet. Her business got hit in 2008 and 2013. Just across the street, Mancy's Steakhouse was hit in December of 2023 and then twice this month.
The motoring public needs to slow down, and they have one job to do, which is to get where they need to go safely.
If your building doesn't have a lot of protection in front of it, and apparently even if it does, you're going to get hit.
WTOL 11 reached out to the city of Toledo for comment and was told the city will be installing a guardrail near the curb and will add additional reflective signage and a roadway surface to the curved portion of the pavement. Well, safety is at the top of the agenda at tonight's Oregon City Council meeting. The Oregon Police Department is pushing for flock cameras in the city. Those are the automatic license plate readers already in use by TPD. The meeting is tonight at 6, was started tonight at 6 o'clock inside City Council chambers. We have a full recap on the initiative tonight on WTOL 11 at 11.
And the breezy forecast continuing for the rest of your evening. It's going to be very windy tonight with gusts up to 40 miles an hour, and a couple light snow showers may be possible as a cold front swings in from the north. Gusts over the course of your Monday evening have been in the ballpark of 30 to 35, although an isolated wind gust up to 40 miles an hour cannot be ruled out. Due to the strong winds, there are still gale warnings over Lake Erie, where the winds may be even up to 45 miles an hour, and much of the Great Lakes region, those lakes not safe even with the ice developing as a result of the winds and the temperatures above freezing. It is going to get a little cooler and cloudier tomorrow as this cold front slides in from the north, and it's also going to bring us some light snow showers. Temperatures still in the 30s for your Monday evening, although there could be a few light snow showers developing as early as about 9 o'clock p.m. Overnight tonight, some scattered snow showers or flurries possible, and through daybreak tomorrow could see some very, very light snow. I am not expecting anything in terms of widespread impacts or accumulations with that system. In terms of the winds, still going to be very gusty this evening with winds gusting to 30 to 40 miles an hour. It briefly turns much calmer, although it is going to turn back up windy again by Tuesday afternoon into Wednesday. 36 degrees. Winds are going to pick back up into the afternoon with the gusts up to 30 miles per hour, so a breezy Tuesday afternoon. Weather impacts through the middle of the week do include a few snow showers and the gusty breeze. Next weekend, Saturday is going to bring us a rain system, although we could see a brief period of wintry mix, and February likes to bring some seasonable weather conditions. I am watching a storm system next weekend. You'll notice a lot of green there, although we could see a brief period of wintry mix as that system departs. You will see rain chances with a little bit of wet snow or mix possible into Groundhog Day. Temperatures briefly jump to the low 40s, and the tail end of the forecast, it is going to turn a little more seasonable with those highs dropping back down into the lower 30s and a bit of a cooler weather pattern for the first full week of February. Kaylee?
Well, Toledo City Council will vote on increasing the city's $365 million proposed budget tomorrow. Council will decide on passing $2 million worth of amendments. Those amendments include increasing Toledo police class size and funding for small businesses. But the biggest amendment is adding $1 million to the city's youth program funding. The initial proposal was for $250,000.
One reason is inflation. Your audience of American families and the Sorrento household, we're paying more for everything. It's no different in government. Our services have gone up, the price of equipment has gone up, and as a result, we have to cope with that.
City Council member George Sorrento says even if the budget is passed, it can be amended throughout the year based on incoming revenue or spending. An error with property values in Lucas County is now affecting more than 1,000 properties. Auditor Katie Moline says the error led to some home values being overinflated during the recent reevaluation process. Moline now says that 1,441 properties were impacted, and these homeowners should be receiving letters soon. She says an increase to property value is not an indication of the error, and the average increase in the county was 29.5%. The Board of Revision met to approve the list of adjusted values this morning.
If your valuation did not change today, and with the approval of the Board of Revision, you were not impacted by this programming error. However, you have the right to appeal your value if you still have concerns about it, with the Board of Revision. The Board of Revision is open now until March 31st.
Moline says her office is working to ensure this error does not happen again. To see if your home is on the list of affected properties, you can check out our website. On Thursday, a federal judge temporarily blocked President Donald Trump's executive order ending birthright citizenship in the U.S. Our National Verified team looks into Trump's claim that the U.S. is the only country that grants birthright citizenship.
Birthright citizenship, or the policy that grants automatic citizenship to anyone born in the U.S., regardless of their parents' legal status, is guaranteed under the 14th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. On January 20th, while signing an executive order that attempts to end birthright citizenship, President Donald Trump said,
"We're the only country in the world that does this with birthright, as you know."
Multiple Verified viewers, including Karen and Joe, reached out to ask if that's true. So let's verify using these sources. According to the Law Library of Congress and the Central Intelligence Agency, 33 countries offer unconditional birthright citizenship, similar to the United States, including Canada, Mexico, Argentina, and Jamaica. Other countries grant citizenship if a person is born in a country and they meet other conditions, like a parent's citizenship or time spent living in the country. So we can verify, no, the United States is not the only country to offer birthright citizenship. On Thursday, a federal judge temporarily blocked President Donald Trump's executive order attempting to end birthright citizenship in the U.S. With your Verify, I'm Ariane Till.
With the start of President Donald Trump's new administration, immigration agencies now have fewer restrictions as to where officers can make arrests, ICE officers. Schools are preparing staff and students for what may come next. The superintendent of Washington Local Schools says an agency can just walk through the door and talk to anyone they want without question. An agency would first be welcomed by the secretary, and then immediately a school administrator would be contacted. That administrator would then ask for the purpose or reason for the visit and ask if they have a warrant.
We're aware, we do have protocols for those things, and keeping kids safe is what happens. We don't let people in our buildings. They can go to the office. You know, we have secure vestibules and all those things, but a lot of times you're talking about law enforcement agencies, and this has been happening for years.
The superintendent says the district's policy also requires school leaders to contact parents to loop them in on what's happening. Other school district leaders in the area tell us they are working on updating policies and are still in the works of having talks with staff. Libertarian Tom Pruss tipped the scale this fall by scoring 14,800 votes in the U.S. House of Representatives race. And on this week's Leading Edge, Jeff Smith talks about how his votes essentially determine the fate of Marcy Kaptur and Derek Merrin.
It's just been one of those situations where I was approached by...
I don't want to say which. I just want to say you were approached by one of the camps to get out of the race.
Oh, yes, I was. Oh, yes, I was.
More than one time?
More than once. More than once. You know, messages, text messages, which I still have on my phone. But
did you have conversations? Did you receive messages saying you're ruining?
Yes, get out.
You're ruining the game.
You're ruining my plan was one that I received from somebody. They had some sort of agenda, and they thought that, you know, it would look good on them if they got me out of the race.
Ooh, interesting. So Jeff is with us now, and he didn't mention names, but he did mention anything else. Did he mention anything else about being asked to get out of the race?
Well, first and foremost, I want to bring people up to speed, just kind of remembering this race in itself. And it was not within the margin of error for them to immediately trigger a recount, but it was without a doubt in her 40 years in the U.S. House. It was Marcy Kaptur's